We going blue! Hello everyone, thank you for tuning in. It is I, Scott, also known as Set of the Summon the Fanatic. Update Digimon deck profile, or actually I think new one. We actually didn't get the original version of this up. Blue. I like to call this one Imperial Omni, or Omni Imperial. So let's get into it. First with the Digi Eggs. We got 4 Demi Vmon that basically say when attacking once per turn, if your Digimon has jamming, you draw a card. And 1 Upamon, because sometimes they'll just play the Digimon straight from the hand with no sources, so then you draw a card when you attack with them. You always want to draw extra cards. And a lot of Mons here have jamming, so that's why we run for this one. Into the rookies. 4 Gabumon. Blue is all about drawing cards, and this one is exceptionally good because you draw 1 whether you play it from the hand or whether you Digivolve into it. So either way, you draw a card. Really good. 4 of the most expensive rare in the game right now. I'm not kidding, this guy is apparently going for like 15 to 20 bucks. This is insane, just because he's a rookie with jamming. That's it. For those who don't know, jamming just means whenever you battle an opponent's Digimon in the security, your Digimon will always win the battle. Doesn't matter what their power is, doesn't matter what your power is, you will always win, and their security just goes trash, and your guy stays on the field. Then we have 3 of the other Vmon that when you, during your main phase, if your Digimon becomes active after it's suspended, you draw a card. There's a lot of stuff that triggers that will get this effect off. It's arguably better in the All Force Vdramon deck, but it's still really useful in here, and we're putting a focus on Vmon in here. We'll get to the big gust of wind, I mean Davis, in a moment. Kudos to any of you who got that reference from Digimon the movie. And 3 copies of Elecmon, because he's a nice free 2-drop. That's it for the rookies. Again, 14 rookies, pretty much standard. Next we have 4 copies of Grizzlymon, you know, the blue blocker. I've seen a couple of really aggressive versions of this deck drop this guy. I don't think that's correct, but it worked for them. One guy, literally I talked to, he topped the tournament with it. So blue blocker, 3 copies of X Vmon, because when you Digivolve into him, you unsuspend one of your level 4 or lower Digimon. So let's say you attack with Vmon, Digivolve into him. When Digivolve, you unsuspend him, and now your opponent can attack you during their turn. Good stuff. 3 copies of Gorillamon, because 1 cost Evo is always nice. And I elected to run 2 copies of Frigimon, just to have a nice champion Digimon with jamming. Next, into the Ultimates, which we're again only running 8. We have 4 Pyildramon. And we're going dual colored, boys. Ladies and gentlemen, that is 4 copies of Dino Beamon. We are running both Jogress or DNA Digivolutions of X Vmon and Stingmon. This uses the Stingmon as the base, this uses the X Vmon as the base. This one has jamming, like, you know, most of the deck, but it also lets you unsuspend your Imperial Dramon when it Digivolves from this, when it attacks, once per turn. Dino Beamon is a little more offensive of the 2, because it not only has piercing, not only just jamming, but it also has piercing. You guys should recall in the Blitzgramon video that I told you about what piercing does. So it's basically, literally, I will say what I said there. Block me. I dare you. I double dare you. Block me. So yeah, we are running red, blue, and green. So it's really more of a dual color deck that gets into a whole bunch of other stuff. Why am I running 2 colors? We'll explain that in a few moments. But because we have a green ultimate, we have 2 copies of this card, or as I like to call him, the Omnimon Killer. This is Bunch of Stingmon. This guy literally exists for one purpose: to kill Royal Knights, named Omnimon. you first look at him and you see, okay, it's a play cost of 12. It's about standard for a Mega. Digivolve from 3 costs a green. That's relatively standard. 9,000 power is a little low. But then you see it has piercing, and you're like, okay, so this card basically can't be blocked. And then you have the win attacking effect. So if you attack an opponent's Digimon that has 12,000 DP or more, which is most Megas, by the way, he gains 7,000, so he becomes a 16,000 attacker, and security attack plus 2. So you literally pierce over basically any Mega that's not one of the rare 11,000 or 12,000s, and then you check for 3 securities. This card is insane. And literally the only reason we're running 2 of him is because he's not blue and he only digivolves from the green. But if you're running any green ultimates, you probably should be running this guy. Especially if you're running a green deck, you should definitely be running this guy. And time to get into the main Mega of this deck. 4 Imperial Digimon Dragon Mode, the blue one. Now, this guy is basically the boss of this deck. I'm not running the green one. Let me know down below if you feel like I should run the green one. I mean, I know obviously what I'd probably take out for it, because if you can run Omnimon, you probably should be running Omnimon. But let's just go back into the Imperial Digimon for the time being. So your Imperial, your Imperial or Dino Beamon, it usually has an evolution cost of 5. But if you have an Imperial Paildramon or Dino Beamon, you can evolve it for 3, because it reduces the cost by 2. It has jamming, and then when you digivolve into it, you unsuspend all your Digimon that have jamming. Jamming.deck is essentially what this deck is. So so ideally you'll have the stack that goes all the way up into this with the Paildramon under it, so that way you can attack twice, or even 3 times, because you attack with the Paildramon, digivolve into this, it becomes unsuspended due to its effect, attack again, unsuspended, so you can basically attack 3 times with this guy. So we already revealed the Omnimon. Into the option cards. 4 copies of the best blue option card in the game. Gain 1 memory for 0, or if it's insecurity, the worst thing that happens with this attack. Hammer Spark. Ha! I gained 2 memory. Your turn is now over. I don't have to explain this card. You run 4 of this all the time. No less. If it doesn't become limited, you don't run any less. And I personally like running 2 Cocytus Breath, because, Craniumon is out now, and Craniumon prevents blockers from being destroyed. This doesn't destroy. So, in that regard, I really like this. I know a lot of people aren't running this card. I really think that's a mistake. I think you should be running this card if you can. And next, recurring joke, a big gust of wind. It's Davis. It's the same difference. So, we're running Davis over Matt in here, because usually Matt is the 4-cost blue tamer that you run, that if your memory is below 2, it goes up to 3 at the start of your turn. Davis, however, has an on-play effect, where when you play it, you reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, and then you add 1 blue and green Digimon from them to your hand. And then you place the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. Literally, you play this, you advance your plays, and this is the reason why we have the Dino Beamons and the Bancho Stingmons in here, by the way. So that way you can get the most out of this card instead of, just searching for 1 blue card. And the way that Digimon works is kind of similar to Pokemon, where you do what you can, and then you resolve the card from there. It's not like Yu-Gi-Oh! Where you have to resolve everything or you can't do it. So yeah, that's Blue-Green Imperial Omnimon. Like, comment, subscribe, click that bell down below for notifications, and we'll catch you next time on the next Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Digimon video.